MJ is here.
Good morning, Dr. T. How are you?
I am well and getting through the day. How about yourself?
You know, I can't complain. It's a little brisk out there this morning.
No, you can.
But
You can complain.
we could, but that's not really productive, is
No,
it?
No. Are you telling me you get through your life complaint free?
No, I'm saying that I try to bottle it up into a quart-sized jar, and I probably open it every 2 to 3 weeks.
Do you?
But most of my life is surrounded by gratitude and acceptance of other people and love for other people and forgiveness.
Oh, I love that. I really do.
Because I have found that watching and observing other people in my life that go through the pain of having anxiety all the time or being stressed over non-controllables all the time is really unproductive, and their health diminishes because of it, and different things diminish in their life because they're so focused on the small things. Mm-hmm. You know, and at least I grew up with the saying, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't cry over spilled milk. You know, those types of things. And so...
Well, milk's expensive these days.
It is, but it's not as expensive as it could be.
No, it's true.
It's still heavily subsidized, which is great because we need the producers out there to make sure that the milk does come to fruition. But I try to leave a legacy of positivity, you know, and I try to live every day, you know, in a positive light. Yes, some days that's harder than others, and I'm not just, you know, happy-go-lucky and rainbows. I'm a very real person, and there's a stark reality out there that needs realistic, you know, observations. Yes, I still believe in the magic of Disney, and I cry over movies.
I cry over movies. Disney and I are not friends these days.
The magic of Disney, not Disney brand.
Oh,
just
okay.
The magic.
Explain that to me. You mean like elephants flying and stuff like that?
No, just the hope.
Okay.
The hope and the right for a better tomorrow. And as I watch Disney movies and a lot of kids movies as an adult, I do have little children. I can see a lot of symbolism in some of the movies. You know, like the newest one, Encanto. I might not be saying it right, but it's about a house that falls apart because the family is so worried about making sure that one person in the family is pleased and satisfied. And I would take that into a bigger perspective of one person is so hard on the community or the nation that everybody else is falling under the pressure, and the house is becoming irrelevant. And the spirit, the goodness that exists there is becoming irrelevant, and eventually it will all crumble until one little girl decides that I've had enough of this, and we're good enough to stand up and be exactly who we are and share our light with the world, and that needs to be good enough for you too. And then the house rebuilds itself. So
what if you don't care about the house?
Then you don't care about the world.
Which is kind of where I'm at these days, actually.
Which is fine. I say it's fine in a light because I would hope that there's more people out there that care that don't. And what we're seeing, especially, not to take this into a political light, and I really need to stop and introduce the show, yes, but you look at the voting rates, less than 30% of people vote. And of that, only one or the other voice is really actually heard of 30% of the population. What happened to the other 70% of the population?
That's a great question, and I'm not sure that the answers that we're coming up with are the best. So just so you know, yeah, I think we should be participating and we should be engaged. But at the end of the day, I would crack under the pressure of I can't solve the world's problems. I can't.
Agreed, and that's why I choose to live my life slightly differently.
So there comes a point where I have to say, we've got to turn it off. That's why I don't consume as much news as I used to.
Well,
I don't consume social media like I used to. I just don't. I've got other things to do, frankly.
Yes. Good luck to the emergency responders out there right now, handling all of their things. I think they're headed northbound, so please, drivers, stay out of their way. Good morning, it's McKennan Hansen with Wired Wednesday, and we are talking a little bit kind of a broader perspective this morning of what's going on. Make sure and catch us live on Wired Wednesday with McKennan Hansen on Facebook this morning.
Are you there right now? I should bring up my Facebook.
I am, theoretically, if my phone's working. I hope it's working, and all of those. But we made a new Facebook page. It's called Wired Wednesday with McKennan Hansen. Make sure and stream live. If not, you can catch the recorded show on my personal page the following week. So with the positivity in the world and choosing to live your life a little bit differently, there's 2 books that I always start my year out with, and they are The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, and right now I'm in the middle of The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy as well. And there's a lot of things that you do have control over that you can choose to take into light. And, Atomic Habits, I can't think of the author right now, is always really good because it starts small. I've been working on positive attitude since I was in college, so 15 years ago. Going through what I can control, what I can't control, and what I need to pay attention to. I do not listen to regular news. I catch it from my husband, and he gives me the highlights. I don't want to have time and energy to put towards things that I don't necessarily have control over, but I do have a control over my attitude. Right. I have control over this radio show, at least on Wednesdays, from 8:30. No, please don't turn the mic off.
I have control over the buttons.
Yes, because the board intimidates me. Anyways, but this show and me being a part of this community is all about making sure people are connected. Because, like Leon, with Leon's alignment just comes to mind. And I want people to know that he is the best resource in the area for very specific things. Because when they have trouble, I want them to go to him because he has come to me as a local professional, right? I want the producers in the area to know that I specialize in insurance for them surrounding their ag production and their commercial operations. Because there's a lot of details that they don't want to worry about because they want to run their business, right? I'm a professional in my field because I like the details and I want to make sure their business is protected. That's my job.
See, and this goes back to a different discussion on service, because I used to be of the mindset, and it was so wrong, but I used to be of the mindset like, this is my job, and this is the little box it's in. And this is working and serving others. And this is the little box it's in. And that box was there. And that box was there. When it dawned on me one day that if I really want to do it correctly, that box and that box are the same box.
They are. And it's incredible the amount of synergy that exists between the different facets. Now, full disclosure, I have a degree in finance. That doesn't mean that I know much about money and investing. It does, however, mean that I can understand data very quickly. And it's incredible the amount of, I'm going to say, interconnectedness there is from one thing to another to another. And if I can be a connector in the community for making sure people are creating synergy with each other. I have businesses working together now because they know me. I've suggested, well, wait, I have this other client, or I have this friend or resource that needs your product. And in turn, they need another product and those things. And there's kind of a web being woven because of that. And that's what I want this show to create out there is I have different sponsors on. Like last week, we had Justin Spinks with Northridge Roofing and Construction on. Roofs are one of those things.
Thanks for reminding me of that, because I need to chat with him.
Yes. I have people on here so that they're cueing people to be like, oh, wait, when is the last time I looked at my roof? Do I need a roof? Well, I need to call Justin.
Well, you do need a roof. I can answer that question.
Right. Do I need a new roof? Right. What does it look like? Did I have hail damage? But I want people to know that this show is about providing value to the community. Yes, sometimes we talk about insurance, and I love talking about insurance, but I want people to know that there's other resources out there that can help their everyday life.
See, in the very Pollyanna look at the world, but I actually believe this. And this is why, I think some people roll their eyes when they hear the Chamber of Commerce come in, for example, and say, it's the Shop Local campaign. And I think the cynical mind, and have a cynical mind from time to time, but I think I don't in this case. The cynical mind would say, "Oh, they're just trying to keep business people making money." Like that's some kind of a bad thing. It's not, because if we take care of each other here locally, and if we help each other, look. Let's take my case. So let's say I sell radio commercials, and sometimes I do.
Yes.
And so I do a deal with someone, and all of a sudden their business, in theory, gets more traction, and then they have more resources available for them, so that they can hire people, provide income, or they have more. They have more at their hands that they can do good with the community. And you take, like let's go back to Leon's. Did he have to have a car wash last, was it November or December? I can't remember.
Yeah, November for a band.
For the band. Did he have to do that? No. Did he? Yeah. Did he make money off of that? I don't think so.
But did he provide value to the community?
He did.
Yes.
Exactly
and
right.
And he provided value way beyond what is, regular in those capacities. Because, a friend used to tell me that it takes, in a social experiment, there was a rat. One rat was punished by a water bottle. It took 6 generations from that rat to stop being scared, or more, to stop being scared of a water bottle, right? Or whatever. It was the actual experiment. I don't know. But you think of money and people being so scared about money, or in a scarcity mindset of money. When I show up to my job just like everybody else does to make money. Yes, I'm an insurance agent. I'm sorry. That's my that's my profession.
Don't be sorry.
And I'm really good at it. So if you want somebody with a really good mindset around insurance, if there's a balance between too much insurance and not enough insurance, I'm your person. If you see value in that. If not, then I have a gamut of other sponsors on the show that we come out and talk about their professions, okay? But the money that I make, I spend in this community, reinforcing businesses in this community, who can then hire people in this community, who can then spend their money and their wages in this community.
And more to the point, and I don't think we spend enough time with this. And not only these businesses, yeah, they have more funding coming in, and they can expand their businesses, and that's fine. I'm not critical of that at all. But they can also contribute more. And we have a business community that, I got to tell you, in all the years I've lived, I've never seen a community of business people in that like we have in this area, that are so quick to come out and get behind community projects, not by force of government, but because they just want to help.
Right, and take Tinks. I love Tinks and their entire family. Tinks is one of the first businesses to sponsor every high school event.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much money they spend, or any of that, but I know that Tinks steps up in all of the areas that they're in all of their different locations. They step up and they share, they reinforce the programs that are surrounding their stores.
Yeah.
Because they understand, among other businesses out there, I'm not saying just Tinks specifically, but I just know their family is really about the community and making sure that they're reinforcing, making sure kids can get to school, or that they have the equipment necessary to perform the sports that they are involved in.
Yeah, there's very little Scroogeism here in Cedar City.
There is, and I love it, and I love being a part of this community.
I do too.
And I want to be the facet for businesses and community members to say, hey, McKennan, I need X. Do you know who provides X? So I can make X and Y meet up, or at least facilitate in that. There's so many opportunities to create better relationships here.
And and that brings me to this question I'll ask you, and I already know, I'm trying to be a lawyer here and I already know the answer to this question. But if the world came crashing down to an end, or the ultimate financial collapse, or whatever disaster you want to think of, where would you rather be? Salt Lake City or Cedar City?
Oh, neither.
Really?
I want to be in the mountains.
Okay, I'll give you that. Actually, that's a good answer. I'll give you that one. Okay. Of the two, Cedar, of course.
Correct. And it's because we have a community mindset.
Exactly right.
If somebody's in pain, if somebody is suffering, and we have the ability to even lessen that suffering, we do.
But even more specifically, I feel more comfortable in this community. Like, say we all of a sudden, I-15 earthquake shuts it down north and south of us, and we can't get trucks in here. I feel more confident that we would find ways as a community to provide for our needs as a community. I feel more confident here than in Salt Lake.
Completely agreed. However, you have to take a step back too. We still appreciate other people opening a door down here.
Sure, exactly right. Yeah.
We appreciate other people's opinions to not.
I don't appreciate all their opinions.
Well, no, but you can accept them.
Yes.
You're not. Stop talking. I don't want to hear your opinion because I don't agree with it. I have conversations every day that I don't agree 100% with any other person. But again, the friction creates synergy. And it's either a positive synergy or a negative synergy. Here we have more positive synergy than any other place that I know of. Granted, I've only lived within a 3-hour radius of Cedar City. But within that, you have a very eclectic collection of people.
Yeah.
And it's becoming ever more so because people are sick of living in those other areas. I love that different mindsets are moving into the area so that we can create synergy to better this community. All in fair balance, but it's all positive. And if you choose to have a negative mindset around it, then it will be negative.
The only place where that breaks down just a little bit for me is that when certain segments of society bring their thoughts to the marketplace, to bring their thoughts to the community at large, and the community says, that's not what we want to do. And then they start using other methods to go ahead and somewhat
push it forward.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And that bothers me a little bit.
And there's a balance there is all I'm going to say.
Okay.
You know, what's really interesting is it was last week sometime I went into Mountain America on the North Branch, just on this side of Leon's, actually, at about 400 North.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a client in the ahead of me in line, and they were telling the teller how negative everything was in their life. And it's the first of the year. Like, it was the first or second or whatever the Monday was, maybe Tuesday.
To be honest with you, 2022 is off to a pretty sucky start.
But
I mean, we lost Sidney Poitier.
Oh my!
We we all but lost Betty White at the start of 2022.
Yes.
We also lost Dobie Gillis, of all people.
Yes,
So I mean, we've lost some great people. I'm going, oh come on! And my kid got appendicitis also. So.
Well, yes, yeah. But there's a picture, back to the whole Mountain America thing.
Okay.
There's a picture in that Mountain America that's a picture of rocks. And I don't know how many listeners out there have seen this analogy or not, but you take a jar and you fill it with your biggest priorities first.
Mm-hmm.
Your second priorities second. And your uncontrollables third. You know, so take your big rocks, like the size of your fist, and then medium-sized stones, and then sand, and then water. Right? You have four ingredients, basically. If you start with the water, you can't fit anything else in. If you start with your big priorities first and work in your other priorities and your smaller priorities and your uncontrollables, you can fit everything in the jar.
Mm-hmm.
So choose differently this year. Start your year off with the big rocks, with the big priorities, because if you don't, you're depriving the world of the impact that you were supposed to make. Start with the big priorities. For me, that's positivity, that's family, that's humility, that's making sure I'm talking to the right people intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a really strong encouragement, you know, or premonition, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but life insurance is required. There's two things that are guaranteed: taxes and death. You need to protect the family that you've built. You need to protect the assets that you've built up. Whether that's for debt protection or tax protection, there are ways for life insurance. And I've had a huge feeling regarding that for about 9 months. But I've been really subtle about it because I'm like, well, people will come to me if they need to about life insurance. Life insurance is the most important thing right now.
But, you know, at some point, and maybe we ought to do another show on this, and I'm sorry we kind of got off track a little bit on this.
Oh, shoot, we are running out of time.
but you need to make your case, I think, and we have this public forum for you too. But I see where you're coming from, and I wish as a younger person, which that's long behind me now, I had the foresight to think about things, because one of the things that's stressing me out these days is what happens to Tammy after I'm gone. It's
right.
really a stress.
And And it's a reality, and it's a stark reality.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Wired Wednesday. This is your host, McKennan Hansen. You can reach me for all your insurance needs, specializing in life insurance, commercial, and succession planning with Farm and Ranch Protection. My number is 435-592-2021. Thank you for joining us for Wired Wednesday. Make sure and catch us on Facebook at Wired Wednesday with McKennan Hansen.
I still think we should have given Leon a hard time.
Leon, we did miss you on today's show. However, we understand that your business is thriving and growing. So we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
And quickly to the point
Yes.
too, we talk about going into. I mean, if for example if I have a sick car, I have one goal in mind, and that's making it not sick because I can get places.
Right.
So you see, Leon makes the money from it, but also I get a car running again.
Right. There's so many business synergistic relationships out there, and we need to create that synergy. And it's our, who knows what our contract was before the veil.
Interesting question.
It is.
All right.
Have a good day. Thanks, Dr. T.
You bet. Now, one